You want to say anything to anybody?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, this park is dedicated to Alvaro Obregon. His right arm actually supposedly is stored in this building, which he lost in one of the wars during the Civil War or Revolution, whatever you want to call it. This is where he was assassinated. He was out of office when he was assassinated, and he was having lunch at a place called Restaurante or Cafeteria La Bombilla, which means the light bulb restaurant. And a disgruntled person came up and shot him dead. They tore down the restaurant, and they eventually turned it into this park, and there's supposedly some secret stuff underneath this park as well, which I won't go into here. But yeah, I found it very interesting because he would have his suits tailored, showing the right arm missing. It would show the arm, but it would show it in such a way that you'd be like, hey, that guy's missing an arm, because he wanted people to recognize his sacrifice to Mexico. And like most politicians in Mexico and probably everywhere else in the world, he was extremely corrupt. And he was president during a time when, I forget the exact numbers. Yeah. So, I forget the number. I think they had 30 presidents in 50 years or 30 presidents in 20 years. It's an insane number because Mexico had one party that basically ruled it for like 100 years. And the guy who was in charge of the party, he reminded me of like Lyndon Johnson a little bit. This guy who just used his size and his power and his force to make things happen, and nobody stood up to him. And Johnson was such a terrible human being, and probably one of our worst presidents of all time because of the damage that he did. And this guy did the same thing to Mexico. So they would have presidents who would serve, the normal term is 6 years, 1 6-year term, but he'd have his cronies come in just to give them a taste. He'd be like, oh, okay, Alfredo, you come in, you do 2 years, and then Pablo, you do 2 years, and then Max, you do 2 years. And in behind, he was like an Obama who was secretly in control behind it all. It didn't matter who he put in there. He was really in charge after his 6-year term ran out. So I hope people are waking up to the fact that no matter what country you're in, no matter what country you're in, you probably have criminals in charge. Yes, even Trump. If you don't think Trump is a criminal, then I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. I mean, you don't have your eyes open. And Trump's making it as blatant as it can be right now. And yeah, you can tie it to stories about Hitler, man. Not that Trump's going to become Hitler, but just from the standpoint that, you know, Hitler would do whatever he want. And the fact that he had people were going to support him no matter what. You know, that's where they say, hey, the means, right? The means outweigh, or the end justifies the means. And until we get to the point where enough people say we have to bring this government down and hit reset and eliminate all spending, I mean all spending, got to hit it down to zero and then start over, man. It's like I told the story about my house, man, where I had 60 trees that were 90 feet tall, like these things, right? Just no pattern. Just, I had a quarter-acre lot, and I had 60 oak trees, 90 feet tall. And I was like, well, I got to bring them down. And it pissed off everybody in the neighborhood that I brought them down. But it turned out it was the best decision I could have made, because what I did was I hit reset. I went to zero. I basically scorched the earth. I went down to and reshaped the land the way I wanted it to be. And that's what has to happen in the United States and probably most other countries, is you have to hit reset. You have to go back to zero. Otherwise, it will never, ever change. And I know it's never going to happen. And I've mentioned this 100 times in my videos over the years. Plato's 5 regimes. You're going to have a strong man come in, whether he's calls himself the left, the right, the center, the communist, the socialist, whatever you want to call him, it doesn't matter. He's going to come in and he's going to purge. Or she, probably be a woman, because women can be much harsher than men when they try to be men. They'll come in and they'll just start killing everyone. And yeah, sounds insane, but it's not insane. It's what history says. It's what history dictates will happen. History repeats. Oh, he's got it in. Scores. So, but that's why I'm just living my life, man. Because anybody who's out there in the mainstream or non-mainstream, they're just trying to make a buck. That's it. Just trying to run their scheme, make $1 here, buy the silver and gold through my link, do this, do that, you know. And they'll say, well, you got to eat. Yeah, well, I get it. And I guess what I'd say is, we got to go back to the days when people would go to Congress. People would go for electorate office, not to make money, but to do their civic duty and to put in their time. You know, they didn't go there for a career. They went there for 2-4 years, tried to make a difference. And then what it turned into is people figured out, hey, so some people out getting their walks. Yeah, I wish it wasn't like this, man. But the one thing we never get back, we never get today back. We never get this time back. And so it's so important to remember and prioritize. So I said it a few years ago. I did a video after Gonzalo Lira went missing, and I basically mentioned that there's nothing really to do right now, and so just wait until it's time for action. You know, the amount of insider trading that's going on is, the fact of the matter is, with the way that the world is today, even going back to 9/11, right? It's very simple to identify who's trading what. It's all comes back to a social security number, an EIN number, some sort of identification number. So when I put on a trade, my broker and the government, if they want, will know exactly what I'm trading. And so it's not difficult to identify criminality. Okay? This morning was just another example where the CPI numbers came out, and before the CPI numbers were made public, 15 minutes or a half an hour before, all of a sudden you had this surge of bets that would be, and the reason it's absurd is because what happens is when you do when you trade certain options that expire today, if you're wrong, you can lose everything, right? Or a good piece of that pie. So if you bet for something to go up 10 points, and thinking it's going to be a 10-point move, and it goes 10 points against you, it's going to wipe out your position. And so nobody's going to put that trade on unless they don't care about their money, or they have a very high degree probability that they know what's going to happen. And so they can turn $1 million into 10, 20, 50, $100 million in a day. Very possible. Today, they probably took options that were worth, $1 or 50 cents, and they're now worth $6, $7. So what is that, 15 times? So you bet $1 billion, you're up 15 million bucks. And I can't do that, and you probably can't do. Well, you could do it, but you'd be flipping a coin. And this type of criminality has been around for so long now. There was a TV show called Yellowstone where Kevin Costner played the guy, and these shows become ridiculous, right? The guy Kevin Costner was playing, he owned this huge ranch in Montana. He ended up becoming governor of the state. And he became governor of the state, not for the welfare of the state. He became governor of the state because he was a corrupt piece of shit. And he wanted to basically put the fix in so that his financial interests were protected. And he didn't care about what happened to the state, as long as his family and his ranch were protected. And basically, that's what we have, folks. And until we get to the point, and I know this is harsh, but this is where we have to start hammering these people. And you make it so that the reward does not justify the potential punishment. And it means that we're going to have people in positions of power that are not going to be bought out. Like, look at these Epstein files. These people who came in saying, oh yeah, 6 months before the election, they're like, oh, what a corruption, oh, blah, blah. And now they have the ability to do it, and they're not doing it. Why? Who knows? There are people in our country who are willing to put their lives at risk, but maybe they're not willing to put their kids' lives at risk, or their families' lives at risk, or maybe they're not willing to put their financial interests at risk. You see this in third world countries a lot, where you hear about these politicians or these judges or these cops who are getting assassinated by cartels or gangs because they're trying to change something. And those places never change. And if they do, look at El Salvador. It took that guy to come in and do something very drastic. Very drastic. He upset a lot of people around the world with the actions that he took. But El Salvador was so dangerous for so long that you had to almost use a nuclear bomb as your action to, in essence, it's what I was saying before. You had to reset and start from scratch, and that's what that man did. And I take my hat off to him for having the courage to do what needed to be done. And I just implore somebody out there who has some power. Rand Paul tried, Ron Paul, so many people have tried, but failed because they tried to work within the system. And unfortunately, yeah, it's unfortunate because, you know, Trump had a mandate, and he had an agenda from the people who voted for him, and he's squandered it all. And we can talk about why, but my voice is giving out on me, so that's it. And today, I'll tell you, I'm so angry today. I've been walking out because I'm trying to burn off this anger, because it's like watching like a bad movie, man. Watching what's happening in the United States. It's watching like a science fiction movie where an asteroid's heading towards the Earth, and, you know, and nobody sees it coming. Nobody sees it coming. So, okay. All right. Let me know what you think. Cheers. Bye. Live long and prosper.